Have you ever wondered why fat loss feels impossible after 30? Most people blame metabolism or testosterone, but after coaching hundreds of men and digging into the weight loss research, I've found that that's just not true. So in this video, I'm going to show you the real reason men struggle and the simple fix that actually gets results after 30. And if you're over 30 and you want me to help you lose body fat, then check out the coaching program below the video. To start, let me show you why your metabolism isn't actually holding you back. We've all heard it, once you hit 30, your body goes into decline, weight loss just slows down, and just looking at burgers seems to cause you to gain weight. Think about your metabolism like an engine in your car. Most people believe that after 30, it sputters and slows down like swapping your sports car for a lawnmower. But here's the truth, research shows that your metabolism barely slows down between the age of 20 and 60. That's right, your engine is still humming along just perfectly fine. So what's really happening? Well, as you get older, life changes. You might make more money and eat out more often. Maybe you stop playing sports because life got busy. The weight didn't just pile up overnight. It sneaks up on you bit by bit, year after year, a symptom that almost everyone unknowingly suffers from: weight creep. From your early 20s, you gain 1 to 2 pounds every single year, but like accumulating wealth, you don't really notice it until later down the line. By your late 20s, you notice that extra little bit of timber, but you brush it off. But by the time you're in your 30s or even 40s, this can be 30, 40 or even 50 pounds of extra body fat. The only real difference you can see is that you're getting older and you put it down to an aging or slowing metabolism. But surprisingly, if you're heavier now than you were in your 20s, your basal metabolic rate, think of it as your car's fuel consumption, has actually gone up, not down, because a bigger vehicle requires more fuel. So don't blame your birthday, focus on your habits. That's where real change starts. Simply tracking your food for a few days or looking at a lifestyle or habit audit will give you much more clarity into what's actually causing the weight gain. Which leads me to my next point, how your habits influence your hormones. As a man, your testosterone levels will naturally start to decline as you age, but it's easy to blame this for losing the lean, athletic look that you always wanted. But here's the twist, most of what people think is age-related testosterone decline is actually caused by health decline, not the calendar. And this has been shown in the European male aging study. Guys who maintain healthy behaviors and lower body fat levels actually have declines in testosterone about 5 times slower than those who have poor habits and high body fat. Let me give you an example. Imagine your testosterone is like a thermostat in your house, keeping your body in balance. If you start skipping workouts, sleeping less and gaining belly fat, it's like leaving all the windows open in winter. The system just can't keep up and everything falls out of balance. But here's what really drives down testosterone. More belly fat, which turns testosterone into estrogen through a process called aromatization, less sleep and less movement, and higher blood sugar and inflammation. The good news is though that when you start closing these windows one by one, you can keep your thermostat working properly no matter what age you are. When you start ticking these things off, such as better sleep, a few more thousand steps, a little bit less alcohol, they start to create a positive feedback loop, increasing your testosterone and making fat loss even easier. But most people fail here because they think sustainable fat loss is just about slashing calories, finding some diet that sheds weight quickly, or completely changing everything all at once. But let me tell you why the fastest route is actually the slowest when you're over 30. When I was in my early 20s, losing fat was easy. My biggest challenges were making it to my 4-hour supermarket shift on time or scraping together enough money for a 6-pack of beer at the weekend. With just 20 hours a week split between university and work, I almost had no real obligations. But as I got older, everything changed. More responsibility, longer hours and higher paying jobs, frequent work travel, client dinners, personal health scares, losing parents, paying mortgages, all of these stresses that are difficult but completely normal part of life after 30. If you're like me, it seems like there's always some sort of fire that needs to be put out. And here's the thing, as men, we're rarely taught any real strategies to handle these mounting pressures. Like me, most guys end up turning to food for comfort. Here's what most people miss. Learning to handle stress and build better habits isn't something that just happens overnight or because you start a new diet. It's a skill, a muscle you build up over time through exposure, failure, practice, and repetition. But if you don't learn how to deal with curveballs, then you'll never succeed because it's not a matter of if they will happen, it's when. And that's why the fastest route, crash diets, extreme restrictions, or trying to be perfect with everything almost always fail when life gets busy. It's like trying to build a house on shaky foundation. It might look good for a while if you lose a bit of body fat, but sooner or later it all comes crashing down. When you give yourself enough time for setbacks, you stop putting yourself under so much pressure to be perfect all the time. That's the classic beginner mistake. Real progress comes from learning to adapt, not from chasing perfection. For example, if you used to stress eat every evening, now you can pause, reflect, and find a healthier way to handle those negative emotions. Maybe a walk, a call with a friend, or just acknowledging the urge without acting on it. If travel always threw your diet off track, you can plan ahead, check out restaurant menus, scout healthy options at the airport, or pack your own snacks for the plane. Just like in a video game, every stage comes with new challenges and tougher opponents. Dropping from 20 to 15% body fat is a whole different beast than going from 30 to 40% body fat. And sometimes you just need to hit pause, regroup, and come back to the game stronger with more energy than before. Which brings me to my next point, trying to lose it all at once. Like most men in their 30s or 40s, if you've experienced the weight creep and the life stressors, you might have 30, 40, or even 50 pounds to lose before you reach a healthy body fat level. Now that can feel overwhelming, especially if you've never actually lost fat and kept it off before. But here's the thing, you don't need to lose it all at once. Think of it like paying off a credit card debt. If you stare at the total balance, it's completely paralyzing. But if you just focus on making the next payment, and then the next payment after that, suddenly you start making some progress. Fat loss works exactly the same way. You don't need to drop all 50 pounds in one go. Just focus on the first 5. Celebrate that win, then maybe tackle the next 5. Maybe even spend time just maintaining for a period halfway through. You lose 25 pounds. Maybe it's not your end goal, but perhaps you have a new baby or it's the end of the quarter in work and you just focus on maintaining for a period. This isn't failure, but so many guys think it is. The diet didn't work for them, or more importantly, isn't sustainable and they're not able to maintain it and cracks under pressure, so they just revert back to old habits, reinforcing the idea that nothing works for them. Taking breaks to maintain is part of a process, not a setback. The only real failure is giving completely up, so play the long game and you'll win. The thing is though, even if you know the theory on how to lose fat and stay lean, you need to master the internal skills. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter how much research you've done or how many fitness apps that you've downloaded. So watch this next video and I'll show you exactly how to apply what you already know.